Gulus Gammamon, as you know, is the extra violent, extra edgy half of Gammamon.
Daddy, chill.
And fans love it. It's got this finesse that's just... But for this video, how strong is Gulus Gammamon? Really? Now, of course, the two main features of Gulus Gammamon's strength come from episodes 21 and 13. So in case you didn't know, in episode 21, they fight a Digimon called Arukenimon, who is a perfect level, whereas Gulus Gammamon is a champion level, one level below that. However, for those of us who have seen DigimonGhostGame episode 21, we all know how that fight went down. Wasn't much of a fight. Gulus Gammamon, for all intents and purposes, is not traditionally a champion level. I mean really. Gulus Gammamon made Arukenimon look like a wet paper towel. It just tore through Arukenimon, no difficulty whatsoever. Now let's make no mistake, Arukenimon is not the strongest perfect level in existence. However, it is the ease and effortlessness of Gulus Gammamon killing Arukenimon is the noteworthy thing. And part of me thinks they call Gulus Gammamon a champion level purely because it's one level above Gammamon, but as far as potency and strength goes, Gulus Gammamon does not abide by the champion level ceiling that most other Digimon do. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's been other Digimon across the whole franchise which have handled perfect level Digimon in the champion level, such as Zeromaru from Digimon V-Tamer. I made a video on that. But again, even Zeromaru had its struggles, but Gulus Gammamon is just so effortless with it. It is a lightweight baby. In another sense, if Digimon were bodybuilders, Gulus Gammamon would be an IFBB Pro. But in the midst of making this video, Premium Bandai have announced the Digimon Frontier DIM cards. Yes, all of them. 2 different volumes with 3 different DIM cards in each. But there is a problem, there is an absence, there is a buyout. But in our darkest hour, ZeninTCG is bringing you the pre-orders available on their website right now. ZeninTCG is an online retailer, a one-stop shop for all Digimon needs, made by Digimon fans for Digimon fans. And with so much content from these DIM cards, you can't miss anything. Head over to ZeninTCG and get your pre-orders now. All their links will be in the description. But after that public service announcement, back to the video. Then moving on to episode 13, Gulus Gammamon's debut, at least officially. When DigimonGhostGame their Digivice V on their wrists can actually transfer them to an augmented digital world, some kind of far removed field from the physical reality, and in episode 13, Gulus Gammamon attacks the AR field and actually cracks it and tries to escape. Which is a bit more than kind of insane. That is insane. Now people will downplay this and say, look, it's just an augmented reality field, it's nothing crazy, it's not a different dimension. But it really is a different dimension though. Because if we track back to episode 4, when Hero first discovers the augmented field, when they destroy things, physical things in the augmented field, when they transfer back to the real world, the same things which were destroyed are actually still intact. Which shows those two worlds are as equally physical as one another. One is not more flimsy than the other one is. It really is a different dimension. There's no reason to believe these things become holograms or these things are all fake. You know, this is a very real world. And the bottom line is, no champion level in Digimon has ever really come close to cracking through dimensions like Gulus Gammamon did easily. Then there is another thing from episode 9 where Gulus Gammamon has more of a prophetic or an apparition debut, if you will, where he doesn't really evolve to Gulus Gammamon, but he's kind of there in spirit. And when Clockmon tries to accelerate Gammamon's time, Gulus Gammamon kind of just negates it and just bats away Clockmon. This one's a bit more debatable, of course. You could say that maybe Gulus Gammamon negates the effects of time abilities and time hacks, because at the end of the day, every time Clockmon has hit Gammamon with that technique, nothing has really happened. You know, it could be said that Clockmon is actually accelerating Gammamon through time, which forces an evolution to Gulus Gammamon, but Gulus Gammamon never actually happened, so it seems like the sheer presence of Gulus Gammamon alone just stops the ability from working full stop. But that one's kind of up to your discretion, really. But then we have other feats from different champion level forms, such as Gulus Gammamon against Yatagaramon episode 7. Gulus Gammamon, despite being a champion level, puts up quite a decent fight against Yatagaramon, which is a perfect level Digimon, and a very strong one at that. It was a close match, but Gulus Gammamon ultimately got the upper hand on Yatagaramon at one point during their battle, slamming Yatagaramon down to the ground. So is it really surprising then that when some of the RGB champion level forms of Gammamon are putting up pretty decent fights against perfect level Digimon like Yatagaramon, who is no pushover by the way, Gulus Gammamon killing perfect level Digimon and cracking dimensions shouldn't really be that surprising, and even possibly negating time affecting abilities. But where it gets a little bit more crazy is that through DigimonGhostGame, including episodes up to 21, in episode 20, Gammamon was pushed to a point where it had to cycle through every single RGB evolution evolution, but at some point in the battle against these rogue Digimon, Gammamon as Betel Gammamon, using some strange, unexplained technique with the Digivice V, uses a super move or a powered up move, which absolutely decimates Digimon of a similar level. So on top of the fact that Gulus Gammamon has never really tried, on top of the fact that in any contact with some higher tier concepts such as different dimensions and time, it's been relatively unproblematic for Gulus Gammamon, there is definitely a lot more wiggle room for Gulus Gammamon and a lot more in the tank that we just have not seen. I genuinely believe we should not be considering Gulus Gammamon to be a champion level form, traditionally speaking. It's only champion level in the trivial sense. But Gulus Gammamon is essentially just a champion level form because it's one step away from Gammamon. But really, it could have the strength of a mega or ultimate level Digimon. And I really mean that. Of course, different Digimon across many different series have pulled off some pretty incredible feats, none so many as Gulus Gammamon, in such little time, fewer appearances, nor at their own leisure. It wouldn't surprise me if Gulus Gammamon never evolved for the rest of the series, that Gulus Gammamon will be rivaling lots of mega level Digimon along the ways. And in my opinion, rightly so. But Evan, I really hope you enjoyed this coverage of Gulus Gammamon's strength in DigimonGhostGame, and I'm absolutely positive there's a lot more to come, so I will probably be revising this at some point in the future. Please leave your comments down below. What do you think Gulus Gammamon is really capable of? Can Gulus Gammamon contend with mega level Digimon? Or is it all just smoke and mirrors? Please leave a like if you enjoyed it, helps other people find my video and my channel. But if you made it this far, I really appreciate your time. But most importantly, take care.